What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Welcome back to What's Happening Now. I wasn't expecting to do another episode this quickly, but there is some news that has happened, and we're going to go over it. Let's jump right the fuck in, shall we? Okay, first and foremost, as always, shout out goes to the members for their continued support of the channel here. There you can see everybody. We have some long timers there. Excuse me, clearing my throat there. Hope that wasn't too loud for you. So if you would like to become a member to help support the channel, make sure the channel can keep going, you can hit the join button or the link in the description. If not, it's all love either way, but shout out to the members for their continued support. So let's get over to Faygo lovers. Something was said about Faygo lovers. Every single episode of What's Happening Now, I'm using Faygo lovers as my source. I'm always crediting them as the #1 source for Juggalo or underground news because it's just a fact of the matter. Regardless of where you stand on the sides, that will never change because they cover all shit Juggalo, whether you like it or not. It's Juggalo, they cover it. So, Faygo lovers is where I will always go. And there's some shit that happened. There's some shit that's going down. And I'm not going, again, I'm going to cover stuff, but if I graze over it, it's not because it's not important. It's just because this is kind of the stuff that stands out to me. So we scroll down here. I kind of touched on it on the last episode, but Buckshot announces a mob-style Christmas featuring Boondocks Kung Fu Vampire. I'm actually very highly considering going to that. One, just because, I don't live far away, and I love me some Boondocks, I love me some Kung Fu Vampire, and I've come around a lot to Buckshot, and I would love to see them do something really out of the box with this show, but who knows? Who knows? So let's go ahead and jump right into it, which probably may be one of the headlines. Hexxx departs Chapter 17, a new chapter begins. Literally, when this happened, I immediately was like, did I manifest this shit? If you have or have not watched my review of Hexx's Tales of a Cursed G, I actually talked in there, in my review, how I felt like Hexxx just did not fit with Chapter 17. Like, I feel like the style of music he's doing and the style of music that Darby and Ouija do are so far different that it just always felt like Hexxx was so out of place there. And then they announced this and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And of course, I didn't take this as bad news. I think a lot of people did. And actually, and weirdly and ironically, when you look at both statements from Chapter 17 and from Hexxx, they both talk about being sad about it. My understanding is the way that it's being put out there is he just simply fulfilled his contractual obligations. Something Gibby Stites did, and then he left M&E. My thing, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying it too, is there's the question of why didn't he resign? Why was he not offered to resign if you know what I mean? There's that question being brought up about re-signing. And I don't like. I'm gonna play agitator here. I'm gonna play shit stir here for just a second. Devil's advocate, whatever the fuck you want to call it. In my same review, in the Hexxx review for Tales of a Cursed G, I talk about a song that Hexxx did with Young Wicket, and the fact that like anybody that tries to upload it, anybody that tries to do whatever about it, it like gets shut the fuck down. Like it was so hush hush. The song is called Run Up. Again, if you would like to hear the song, you can email me. I have it. I will email it to you. I will not upload the shit. And if you are a content creator, I would greatly advise not uploading it. But it's a song featuring Young Wicket, and it was recorded in 2019, which means it was recorded during the beef, during the split, during the fuck Young Wicket, fuck M&E, fuck Twisted campaign, whatever you want to say. Basically, artists left and right, affiliated, not affiliated, getting blackballed for even talking or looking at or taking pictures with anyone affiliated with that camp, right? This song kind of resurfaces now, and it's so super hush hush. I honestly can't help but feel like somebody, and I'm not going to say names because y'all know who the fuck it is, caught wind of it and found out about it and probably shut the shit down. Like, yo, he did a song with him during this time period, cut his ass off the label. But yeah, I feel like maybe that's what happened, and that's why it's like, oh, we're both sad to say that, you know, he won't be on the label anymore. It's contractual obligations. Yeah, I don't. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Food for thought for you if you want. But yeah. So yeah, Hexxx is no longer part of the label, and I immediately commented. I think it was on Informed Juggalos, and of course, somebody replied, "Fuck M&E." I didn't even mention them. That's just how toxic the fucking community is right now. I was like, yo, I look at it like this: his opportunity just opened wide, because now he can work with whoever the fuck he wants to work with, regardless of who they're signed to. And I wasn't even talking about M&E. I was actually more so talking about like Light, Straight Jacket. You know, there's artists out there I feel like he would do great with, but because of his shackles, you know what I mean? Because of his chains being tied to Chapter 17 and those being tied to Psychopathic Records, you know, obviously there's obstacles in the underground that he no longer has by not being on this label. So I'm actually really excited for Hexxx. I don't know what direction he's going to take. I think I've seen somebody say he's planning to just kind of stay by himself. But again, the opportunities for him are there. It's up to him if he wants to take them. Of course, it's going to be not being booked at the Gathering. It's going to be not being booked at other events. I mean, obviously, and that's kind of the other thing that brings it up is like when they announced the lineup for Wicket, somebody commented, "Oh, Hexxx, should we just call him Skip?" And Violent J actually replied and put LOL. So that's the other thing that made my red flag go up. Like, okay. So he's laughing at the fact that Hexxx was not fucking booked. That's a huge red flag to me of why he wasn't booked, why he's not on the label anymore. Come on, guys. Like, that's how petty it is. This is literally how petty it is. So I'm excited for Hexxx to not have obstacles. There's so many opportunities now. He can go to any event he wants to, besides the ones that have a fucking stick up their ass. And that's good for him. That's good for him. He can go spread his wings and fly. So it's exciting news, I think. So right off of the fucking jump of that, Astronomicon 7 dates and locations announced. Tickets and VIP package is now available. I am super duper tempted to go to this. For the last 6 events, I've like, you know, I'm not into pop conventions, but the more that I like see footage and kind of read about it, there's things there I think I could find that would be enjoyable for me. And one thing that I loved about the DCG Con versus the Gathering is it's more of a chill, relaxed environment. You know, you get to go mingle with people, you get to hang out with friends, you get to, and you know, obviously you have that at the Gathering, but there's a lot going on also at the same time at the Gathering, and it's kind of difficult to do. Heat and weather plays a factor at the Gathering. There's just so much that happens at the Gathering that kind of stands in that way. Like I see so many people like, oh, I wanted to do this at the Gathering, but I didn't get that chance. I've had that happen. You know, and going to the DCG Con, I feel like if you're at the actual event center and it's a smaller space, it's easier to kind of link up with each other. I feel. But yeah, I'm curious about Astronomicon 7. I'm tempted to go. So it is going down in April 12th to the 14th. It's going to be returning to the Burton Manor in Livonia, Michigan. 3-day event. And it looks like right now there are a number of ticket options, but the most popular ones are your weekend pass plus concert ticket, which is $95. That's not bad at all. Or the weekend pass only without concert ticket, which is $70. So for $15 more, you get to go to the concerts, which, you know, they usually host really good concerts at this thing. And that's kind of what's had my attention is they have a lot of acts there that I would like to see. So, and yeah, I'd be super excited to do it. Of course, VIP packages are available as well. Let's see, what else does this get you? Wow, baseball jerseys in there. Get your passes. So so this is these are the VIP packages I like. The ones that actually include a ticket to the event. Like you already shell out money for the ticket, and then you got to buy VIP. I wish the VIPs always came with a ticket to the event. That to me is such a flawed design when artists do that. Tech Nine was way ahead of the curve with everybody on that. He's been doing VIP packages for so many years now, and he's always offered a ticket to the event. All you got to get is the VIP package, and you're there, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's not like you spend $200, $300 on this VIP package and then go back into save mode so you can actually get the ticket to go. So, yeah. And the other thing that he's always kind of done, too, is he sends you your VIP items, which I know some artists do, some artists don't. I think it's like that incentive of they want you to actually show up. They don't want to sell VIP tickets and then like have nobody there because they just wanted the merch that came with it. I get that aspect, but I always felt like going to an event and getting your stuff there and then having to carry it would suck donkey nuts. So yeah, Astronomicon 7 officially announced. I might be there. So moving right along, jumping to ICP's 30th annual Wicket is now going to be live on pay-per-view. This is a very interesting decision, a very interesting announcement. To me, this is one of two things. One, they just wanted to document the night because it's the 30th annual. They kind of did that at Gathering 17. They had film crews there that filmed the Wizard of the Hood set. Obviously, that DVD is out now. I feel like that's probably more the case of why they want to do it live. And maybe even just this. Maybe the fact that Violent J is hitting all these podcasts. He like remembers, oh, we did this for a minute. Like, what the fuck ever happened to the ICP network? So I almost feel like maybe this is an attempt to revive that and bring that back and do it, test the waters with this live event here. I'm super curious about it though, because everybody and their mama has phones now, and everybody and their brother has YouTube channels now, or Twitch channels, or Kick channels, or channels, or what the fuck ever. So I feel like there's going to be really challenges for them to keep theirs successful by trying to limit people filming or live streaming at the actual event. They actually, when I went to the Prom Night Massacre back in 2021, they did do that live for the Patreon. There really wasn't an issue with filming there, as that I recall. Like where we were, we never had issues with it. But I'm just very curious, like how well this will do, and if it's their way of trying to bring that back, which would be kind of cool. I hope, like, if they do bring the Patreon or the Twitch back, I hope that they lower their prices even further. And I hope that they have a consistent schedule and they're consistently putting out shit that I'll be interested in, because I'm going to be straight up honest with you. When they were doing the Twitch streams or whatever, when it was Patreon, I only did it for 1 month. I did it for the very first one they did. And they had some really good shit in there. And over the time, they had the jam exams, which were really dope, I thought. Missed out on those. I've still tried to go and find it. But I also had learned that the Patreon shit that they did is no longer available. Like, you cannot view any of that anymore. Which really fucking sucks that they didn't take all of their footage and press it onto a DVD, and that was the extra like incentive of like, if you subscribe to this for this month, at the end of the month it will be pressed onto a DVD and sent to you. Like $66 is worth it to me if I would have got the shit on DVD later, you know what I mean? But they always also had a lot of connection issues. That's just the life of streaming. It fucking sucks. That's why I don't do it very often. I have enough issues just trying to fucking record. If you remember last episode of What's Happening Now, sometimes it sucks trying to put videos out there. But yeah, they're doing it live. I don't recall. Did they put a price tag on this yet? Honestly, I saw it and I was like, oh, cool. They're doing this for everybody that's not going to be there. I'm going to be there, so I don't really need to know the details about this. All I know is it just says that they're doing it. I imagine if we go to the website, is there like, okay, yeah, juggalotv.com. Let's just click on that and see what the fuck happens. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You can like, stream it from your phone too. Okay, watch virtually on any device for only $17. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. It's only $17 to get, the VIP or the VIP. To get the pay-per-view to see Wicket. So if you've never been, I just hope that they have like really good cameras there, because that's the other issue is like you can get good video but shitty audio, or you can get really good audio but shitty video. It's a whole fucking battle. There's some motherfuckers out there who get both and they're like great at it. So hopefully they have good cameras there that can get like the full quality of it, because I think this is a really cool opportunity for people who have never been to see it, and for them to finally be like, yo, I'm not missing next Wicket. I will fucking be there. Because for the longest time, the homie Ecoside Fiend was trying to talk me and Megs into going to Wicket. And we finally did it in 2019. And we're like, yo, this was a fucking blast. Obviously, we didn't get to go in 2020. We went in 2021. We did take last year off, financial reasons and work-related reasons. We had taken some time off, so we couldn't take more time off for Hollow Wicked. But, as long as it's at a good venue, that was the other reason we skipped last year, is if it's at a good venue and, it's got a good line. Well, I guess I don't really care about the lineup. I'm going there for ICP, regardless of who's playing, which obviously Ouija Mac will always and forever, until the day he dies, be at Hollow Wicked. Or until they fall out. That's always a possibility, too. Like, Ouija could be faking the funk this whole time, put a wool over everybody's eyes, and be just like every other artist that left Psychopathic, and nobody even fucking realizes it. But yeah, I go for ICP, so yeah, as long as it's at a good venue, and I have the ability to go, whether it be work, money, I will definitely always try to be at Hollow Wicked, for sure. So, moving along. Kung Fu Vampire reveals 20th anniversary vinyl for his first LP, Bloodbath Beyond. This caught my eye. Honestly, I'm not going to be picking it up. I wasn't a huge fan of this album. I bought it because I knew it was rare. It was like his first stuff. And I literally have listened to it one time. Just wasn't for me. Maybe I need to revisit it. But for me, it just wasn't itching my brain like I was hoping for. And so I've never revisited it. So, but it's cool that he's finally getting into the vinyl game. I'd love to see how many more albums he does on vinyl. But that's still in the air on whether I would buy it or not, because I've really only collected ICP vinyl, and even now I'm toying with the idea of selling them because they literally just sit and collect dust. And I'm just at a weird place in my life now where I don't feel like I have to collect everything that everybody's putting out. It's getting very difficult to do that as it is. But yeah, Kung Fu Vampire is releasing a vinyl for Bloodbath Beyond. So you can head over to kungfuvampire.com to get that. And yeah, let's move on to, I guess, the second headline, maybe. I'm not sure how I'm going to word it. ICP with We Twisted With Us podcast interviews Scotty D of Faygo Lovers. And as soon as I had seen that this happened, I was like, bet. I'm not listening to any music. I'm not watching anything on YouTube. I am simply going to listen to this. And that's exactly what I did yesterday at work. I spent my first hour and a half at work listening to this podcast, and it was absolutely fucking amazing. If you don't know anything about this podcast, it is, if you've never listened to ICP with We, basically what they do, they go in chronological order, and they basically just do reviews of all the albums that ICP has done. Now, they're currently working on doing the Twisted, which is why they named it Twisted With Us. And the Twisted With Us brought on Robbie from Twisted History, also from Do It For The Underground on Instagram. If you don't know who he is, he has done amazing work of chronicling, that's the word I was looking for, chronicling the history of artists. There's a Discord server for this specific podcast here. It's them, the Juggalo Rewind guys. It was originally their Discord server, but they kind of renamed it and rebranded it the UPC. It's Underground Podcast Community. So it's multiple podcasts that are there intermingling. Some YouTubers, such as myself and others, are there. And, there's channels on there that's just it's different artists and it's their history. And it's usually Robbie that goes in there and he's just chronicling the history of so many different artists. It's honestly how I've learned as much as I've learned about Low-Key. It's how I've learned as much as I've learned about Zool. He does a fantastic fucking amazing job, and maybe because of that I'm biased. Robbie is definitely my favorite, and the fact that he's done comedian, he's kind of in that lane of comedy, and he brings that element a lot into their podcast. No disrespect to Aaron or Eric, but Robbie is definitely my favorite of that, and that he's definitely been he's been the gravity to pull me in to go check out the podcast. Now, let me hop off their nuts and hop onto Scotty D's nuts. So in the interview, they did address Violent J talking about Faygo Lovers in the Bootleg Kev interview. What I will say about that, when it happened, it took me back. It took me aback, whatever the phrase is. I was shocked when he said it. When Kev asked Faygo Lovers, and Jay goes, "What? I don't know what that is. Is that a website?" "Yeah." "Oh, I used to fuck with them. I don't anymore." First of all, with Violent J telling his side of the story with any of the things that happened with with Twisted and Young Wicked and anything, he loses a lot of credit with me when he does stupid shit like that. When he plays dumb. Either he's legit, like, not remembering because of all the drugs he's done, or he just doesn't remember because of old age. It happens. But when he kind of plays dumb like that, he loses credibility with me. How can you say you don't remember Faygo Lovers when you announcing your departure, your split with Twisted, was with Scotty D, was with Faygo Lovers? Like, Jay can't be that dumb, right? He just can't. So immediately he's playing dumb, and that to me is where he loses credibility. To me, it tells me he's pushing a false narrative every single time it happens. It happened in the same interview when Kev asked him, how many gatherings have you had? And he's like, I think this is the 29th. How do you not know how many gatherings you've held? You're literally getting ready to have your 30th Hollow Wicket. You just had your 23rd gathering. How do you not know this stuff? And people could probably be in the comments, and I'm sure I'm triggering a ton of people right now. They're probably like pissed because I'm like pointing out this shit, and they're like, well, maybe he just doesn't remember. He's not the one that puts it out. Jump Steady is. I don't care. There's no excuse to me, and it just screams like, don't believe this guy. Don't believe it. When that happens, I'm like, from that point forward, I'm like, I don't know if I trust what he's saying anymore. That's just, for me, that's just how it happens. Right. So, obviously he talked about, Scotty D talked about what had happened, and Scotty D said he was not surprised, that he was aware of it already. In fact, obviously he still does work with Rob Jump Steady. He helps put on the gathering. If you didn't know that, Scotty D every single year, and I don't even know how many years he's been doing it for now. I want to say 2017, 2016, and hopefully Scotty is watching and can like confirm that for me, or somebody who knows can confirm that for me. But for a lot of years now, Scotty D, as soon as he gets on the gathering grounds, he's immediately given a crew shirt, and he's there putting work for you guys, for the Juggalos that are going, and he does the shit for free. He volunteers his time. So, completely hats off to Scotty D, and the fact that when he was talking about this in this interview, the ICP with We Twisted With Us podcast interview, he was basically like just saying that he's going to continue doing what he's been doing for 20 some years now with Faygo Lovers. He's going to cover everything, regardless of who has bad blood with whomever. Like what Scotty D does is for the love of it, for the love of the scene, the community, and for the love of Juggalos, for the love of being a Juggalo himself. So my hats are completely off that even though he knows that was said about him, he didn't take it ill at all. He literally just was like, whatever. I'm going to keep doing me. You know what I mean? And he had sent a message out at the end of that podcast that really, really hit hard with me. He basically talked about how, like, if there's anybody out there doing it, like he's going to keep doing things positive for the community. And that's kind of always been my stance, is I want to be like a positive force in the community. Like, I want to stay away from the beef shit. I just want to talk music, and I just want to talk good shit. Great job with this episode. And he basically had said, like, just keep doing it. You just got to keep doing it. And that's what's going to keep our community alive. And when he said that, that really clicked for me. Obviously, I've talked about, hanging it up. Like, when is the right time for me to retire? And I oftentimes get in my own head because there's just so much negativity as far as content creators go here on YouTube. There's so many people pushing this like negative perspective and fucking narrative that I'm like, anytime this shit happens, like the Bootleg Kev thing, I seriously debated, should I even like put my 2 cents out there? I pretty much have killed the My 2 Cents series because like when it comes to talking about these like deep, dark, negative, toxic topics, I don't even want to go there because the energy it invites into you. That's just kind of where my headspace is. And so when Scotty had said that, like, if you're doing something positive, like, we got to keep doing it because that's what's going to keep the community alive. Like, I know he wasn't saying it to me, but I was like, that fucking message is for me. People talk about the Dark Carnival magic and the carnival provides. That shit was like a fucking clear message to me. Like, there's no doubt I have to keep doing what I'm doing, and I have to, completely like blinders on, stay away from the negative bullshit, which really sucks because there is YouTubers out there who are doing shit that I like, but they touch on this shit in a negative way, and it's like, Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. Deck One Delt's last episode, I turned it off. I was watching them live and I turned it off because of what they were talking about. I was like, I don't want that energy. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting upset watching. I was like, these guys are homies. They're allowed to have their opinion. I turned it off and I was like, we're just gonna skip this one. And then hopefully hopefully tomorrow, I'm recording this on Saturday, I'm able to watch it and I just, forget that ever even happened. Like, because they're allowed to have their opinion, I'm allowed to have mine. And where the community needs to be now is for us all to like what we like and all dislike what we dislike. And there not be an issue. There doesn't need to be an issue. Like, there's no reason for juggalos to be fighting amongst each other. So that was a very positive message that Scotty put out there. And I want to say this, Scotty D to me is the Juggalo ambassador. Like, if there was somebody to be appointed to represent all juggalos, I want it to be Scotty D. There is nobody else in my mind who can be the ambassador, the representative of all juggalos. He marched on Washington. Nobody else, well, I guess somebody else could. He marched on Washington. That's criteria. He's been to every single gathering. That's criteria. He's been down for 20 plus years. That's a criteria. He is neutral in the beef. That is the criteria. Like, if you're going to be a Juggalo ambassador, you can't give a fuck about the beef, right? So, like, if you're out there and you're like, oh, I'm pro ICP, fuck Twisted, you can't be the Juggalo ambassador. I'm sorry. It's just not the criteria. I'm sure there's some other criteria I could say, but to me, Scotty D is it. You know what I mean? When I think Juggalo, when I think standout Juggalo, like, Scotty D is the first person and the only person really who comes to mind. There are others, but yeah, Scotty D, Faygo lovers, they will always have my support. And even when I was kind of in my feels about Twisted, and they were posting shit, and I think that's probably why Jay doesn't like them anymore, is because they don't fucking like shun that side like he wants them to. I just scroll past. It's as easy as it is. You see a headline for something, just scroll past it. Same way with the videos of people making shit you don't like, even if it's my shit, like, just scroll past it. You know what I mean? Just scroll on by. It's okay for people to have opinions that aren't yours, because we all have our own opinions. And I think that's where I want to leave this off with is, let's keep shit positive. You know what I'm saying? Let's just stay positive. Let's stay away from the bullshit, because that's, to me, what's tearing the fucking community apart is all the negative, toxic bullshit. So yeah, I'm going to end it off on that. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me down below if you are heading to Hollow Wicket and if you're excited for it. If you're heading to Fright Fest and you're excited for it. If you're heading to Unity Fest and you're excited for it. I'm hitting all three of those events. So if you're going, I will see you 2 weeks from now. Right? No, not 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks away from Hollow Wicket and Fright Fest and Unity Fest. God damn. I'm excited. I'll see you guys there if you're going. If you are not going, then I'll see you the next time I drop a video, which I'll drop a video before that happens. I'm going to be doing videos before Hollow Wicket hits. So regardless, I'll see you guys next time. I thank you guys for watching.